So anyway, that's going to be it on today, and I've got a buddy in here who's laughing in the background, and his name is Steve Goff. He's the author of a great book that you need to go buy. I'm telling you, this book is amazing. It's about the story of John Colter and an event that took place just 40 miles, 50 miles north of here, where he was, Steve?
Yes.
Come here. Stand right here and look, sit where I'm sitting and talk to him.
Thanks, Dave, for the opportunity to talk to all your viewers. John Colter was a member of the Lewis and Clark expedition that stayed behind and returned to the Yellowstone country in the area 1806. And he did that to trap beaver. About a year after he left the expedition, he joined up with another expedition that was coming up here to actually start a trading fort, and that was led by a man named Manuel Lisa. And Manuel Lisa sent John Colter out into the wilderness to try to bring in friendly Indian tribes to trade. And one of the tribes that he brought in were a tribe of Indians called the Salish. Some people refer to them as the Flatheads. Well, anyway, when he was leading them towards Manuel's fort, they got in a huge Indian battle, probably involving over 2,000 warriors. Colter was wounded, and a lot of Indians were killed, and in the nick of time, the Salish were rescued by another tribe called the Crow. Well, some odd months later, Colter decided to return to where this battle was held, and he came with another member of the Lewis and Clark expedition, a guy by the name of John Potts. And they came to this valley, it's called the Valley of the Three Forks, to trap beaver. And while they were trapping beaver, they were discovered by the Blackfeet, who captured them, killed Potts, butchered his remains, beat Colter with the remains of his friend, and then stripped him naked and allowed him to run while all the Indians in the world chased him. Well, he made a dash for a river about 5 miles away, the Madison River. En route, was caught by the lead warrior. They had a struggle, and Colter killed him. He made it to the river, found an abandoned beaver house, hid inside the beaver house until later that night, after he was sure all the Indians, the Blackfeet, had finally given up. And then he went overland completely naked with winter coming on, all the way to Manuel's fort, approximately 250 miles away. He made it. He made it in horrible condition, but he made it nevertheless. And he was such a man that he decided that he was going to come back in the dead of winter by himself to try to get back the beaver skins and the traps he had left. But en route, he was again attacked by the Indians, and again he escaped. Made it back to Manuel's fort, and subsequently was asked to lead an expedition back into Three Forks the following year, which he did. And that incident became another ill-fated incident in which many of the trappers were killed and butchered and tortured, etc. And Colter finally said he had enough, and he left. And he left with a couple of young trappers, and en route he was ambushed again. This time he got his revenge, and he finally was able to leave, and that's the end of the story.
All right, yesterday went on a little hike with a bunch of friends on a ranch up north of here on the Jefferson River, near where John Colter, who was part of the Lewis and Clark expedition, was captured in the latter part of the 1806 to 1809 period by some Blackfeet Indians on this river and in this area. And he was forced to run naked for his life. And it was a great story of survival in that. Anyway, we got permission to go on this ranch up north, and it was just an amazing adventure. And just wanted to share some of the sights and sounds or some of the scenes of that little hike from yesterday. These are wickiups that were built by this gentleman that we're out here with. He built them about 10 years ago out of the deadfall, and he'd bring his family out here and they'd actually sleep in these things. The girls would sleep on one side and the guys would sleep in the other. And you can see inside here, I don't know if you can see or not, but it's pretty cool. Back in here. And they built another one over here. But this is something a mountain man would build out in the wilderness, because they needed something that could go up quick and protect them from the weather, and this would be perfect, and the smoke would just go right up through the roof. The description of his book, believe me, his story is so well written, it's going to lock you in. You won't be able to put the book down. So go out and buy his book. I'll put a link to where you can buy it. That'll be it for today. Adios, amigos.